Hey everyone, it's your girl, Audiobook Bay, back again to drop some gems. If you've ever struggled with breaking bad habits or building the good ones, today's summary is for you. In today's breakdown, we're diving deep into Atomic Habits by James Clear, one of the most powerful books on personal growth. It's packed with actionable advice on how to change your habits and transform your life. So tell me, how many times have you tried to build a habit only to find yourself giving up after a few weeks? Well, today we're going to fix that together. This book gives us the tools to break free from bad habits and build the habits that will actually change our lives. If you're ready to stop repeating the same patterns and start living the way you've always dreamed, you're in the right place. All right, let's dive in and uncover the 10 powerful takeaways from Atomic Habits that will help you take control of your future. Let's get started. Takeaway number 1, the power of tiny habits. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that change has to be big or dramatic to matter. But the truth is, small habits repeated consistently over time can lead to life-changing results. James Clear calls this the power of compounding. Just like how a tiny daily habit, like reading for 10 minutes a day, can turn into reading 10 books a year. Think about it. If you read just 10 minutes a day, you're building that habit without pressure. But over time, those 10 minutes stack up, and by the end of the year, you've read 10 books just from that tiny daily effort. Or take a simple health habit, drinking 1 extra glass of water every day. You might not notice the change on day 1, but after weeks, months, and years, that small habit becomes a powerful tool for better hydration and overall health. It's a tiny habit, but it adds up in ways you might not expect. It's all about the 1% improvement. Clear emphasizes that tiny changes, even if they seem insignificant at first, compound over time and lead to massive transformations. The trick is to start small. Don't focus on the big goal. Instead, focus on improving just a little bit each day. These small habits will eventually stack up and lead to something much bigger than you ever imagined. So start small. The tiniest habit done consistently will lead to extraordinary results over time. Takeaway number 2, the 4 laws of behavior change. James Clear breaks down the process of building habits into 4 simple laws: cue, craving, response, and reward. These laws guide you on how to form good habits and break bad ones. Let's start with the first one, cue. A cue is something that triggers your behavior. It could be something external, like seeing your gym shoes by the door, or something internal, like feeling stressed, which might make you reach for junk food. The key is to make the cues for your good habits obvious. For example, if you want to start a reading habit, leave the book on your pillow so you see it before bed. You're more likely to pick it up because the cue is right there. The second law is craving. This is the desire or feeling that you get when you think about the reward. It's what motivates you to do the behavior in the first place. To make your habits stick, make them less attractive. Let's say you want to go to the gym. If you associate the experience with something enjoyable, like listening to your favorite podcast while working out, you'll crave the gym time more because you're making it fun. Next is response. This is the actual action you take, the behavior itself. To make habits easier, you need to make the response easy. If you want to build a habit of working out, start by making it ridiculously easy. For example, instead of committing to a full hour at the gym, start with 5 minutes of exercise at home. Once you start, you're more likely to keep going. The easier the response, the more likely it is to become a habit. Finally, reward. This is the feeling of satisfaction or the benefit you get after completing the habit. To make your habit stick, the reward needs to be satisfying. Let's say you want to eat healthier. After eating a nutritious meal, allow yourself a small reward like watching an episode of your favorite show. This positive feeling will reinforce the behavior, making it more likely to continue. So, the 4 laws of behavior change are all about making the cue obvious, the craving attractive, the response easy, and the reward satisfying. Use these laws to build habits that stick and make the process of habit formation easier and more enjoyable. Takeaway number 3, identity-based habits. One of the most powerful ideas in Atomic Habits is that the key to building lasting habits isn't just focusing on the outcome you want, but on the person you want to become. Your habits shape your identity, and if you change your identity, your habits will follow. Think about it. Instead of saying, I want to lose weight, try saying, I'm the kind of person who eats healthy and works out regularly. It's not about the goal anymore. It's about who you are. This shift in mindset makes your habits a reflection of the person you are, not just something you're trying to achieve. Let's take a real-life example. When you identify as a runner, it's not just about running to meet a specific fitness goal. It becomes a part of your identity. And because of that, you're more likely to run regularly, even if you're tired or busy, because that's what runners do. So another example is with smoking. Someone who sees themselves as a non-smoker is much more likely to quit and stay quit because their identity is tied to not smoking. It's not just about breaking the habit, it's about aligning with the identity of someone who values health. So instead of focusing on the end result, focus on who you want to become. Ask yourself, what kind of person am I trying to be? And then align your habits with that identity. When you see your habits as part of who you are, they become much easier to maintain and reinforce over time. Takeaway number 4, environment design. Your environment has a huge impact on your behavior. The spaces you spend time in can either encourage good habits or make bad habits harder to break. By designing your environment to support your goals, you make the right behaviors easier and the wrong ones harder. For example, let's say you want to eat healthier. If you fill your kitchen with healthy snacks and put junk food out of sight, you're more likely to choose the healthier option when you're hungry. And it's not about willpower. It's about making the good choice the obvious choice. Another example is with exercise. If you want to work out in the morning, lay out your gym clothes the night before. That simple step makes the cue for your workout much more obvious. It's a small change, but it sets you up for success because it eliminates the friction of trying to find your gym clothes in the morning when you're groggy. Or think about your phone. If you want to cut down on social media use, put your phone out of reach when you're working or studying. Better yet, turn off notifications or move apps you tend to waste time on to the second screen. Making the cue for distraction less obvious helps you stay focused on what's important. So, take control of your environment. Make your good habits obvious and easy to do, and make the bad habits harder to fall into. Your environment has the power to shape your behavior more than you might realize. Takeaway number 5, the plateau of latent potential. Success often takes time to show up. In the beginning, you might not see the results of your efforts immediately, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. James Clear refers to this as the plateau of latent potential. The idea is that when you're working toward a goal, you may not see visible progress for a while, but your effort is still building beneath the surface. For example, when you start a fitness routine, you may not see any noticeable changes in the first few weeks. But that doesn't mean your efforts aren't paying off. Your body is adjusting, getting stronger, and preparing for bigger results down the line. Then, after a couple of months, you suddenly notice that your clothes fit better, or you have more energy. Your results appear all at once, like an overnight success. Another example is learning a new skill, like playing a musical instrument. In the beginning, progress might feel slow and frustrating. But after weeks or months of consistent practice, you'll notice significant improvement. The key is to keep going even when you don't see immediate results, because success is often hidden under the surface, waiting to emerge. Takeaway number 6, the Goldilocks rule. Motivation thrives when you work on tasks that are just the right level of difficulty, not too easy, not too hard, but just right. This is called the Goldilocks rule. When a task is too easy, you get bored, and when it's too hard, you get discouraged. But when it's at the right level, you stay engaged and motivated. For example, think about playing a video game. The best games are the ones where the difficulty is just challenging enough to keep you on your toes, but not so difficult that you want to quit. It's the same with habits. If your habits are always too easy, you'll lose interest. But if they're too hard, you won't stick with them. Let's say you're lifting weights. If you always lift the same amount, it will eventually feel too easy and you'll stop progressing. But if you slowly increase the weight just enough to challenge yourself, you'll stay engaged and motivated to keep improving. It's about finding the balance where the challenge is enough to keep you interested, but not so difficult that you feel defeated. Takeaway number 7, habit stacking. One of the most effective ways to build a new habit is by stacking it onto an existing one. This is called habit stacking, and it makes it easier to remember and stick to new behaviors. For example, let's say you already brush your teeth every morning. Now, you can stack a new habit of stretching right after you brush your teeth. The act of brushing your teeth becomes the cue to remind you to stretch. It's a simple way to make a new habit automatic by pairing it with something you already do every day. Another example is with hydration. If you make coffee every morning, you can stack drinking a glass of water before or after your coffee. This way, the habit of making coffee becomes the trigger for the new habit of drinking water. By using habit stacking, you can easily integrate new behaviors into your routine without feeling overwhelmed. Takeaway number 8, the importance of tracking habits. Tracking your habits is a simple yet powerful tool that helps you stay on track. When you visually track your progress, it reinforces the behavior and boosts motivation. It also provides you with a sense of accomplishment every time you mark off a day, making it easier to stay consistent. For example, many people use habit trackers to record each day they stick to their new habit, like drinking a glass of water, exercising, or reading. Every time you mark a check on your habit tracker, it gives you a little win and motivates you to keep going. And another example is tracking your fitness goals, whether it's logging your workouts in a fitness app or writing them down in a journal. Tracking your progress allows you to see how far you've come. When you see your consistency over time, it makes the effort feel more rewarding and reminds you of the positive impact your habits are having on your life. Takeaway number 9, the 2-minute rule. If you're struggling to get started on a new habit, use the 2-minute rule. This rule says that any habit can be started by breaking it down into something that only takes 2 minutes to do. The idea is to make the habit so small and easy that you can't say no to it. For example, let's say you want to start exercising. Instead of committing to an hour-long workout right away, start by just putting on your gym clothes. That's it. It only takes 2 minutes, and once you've done that, you're much more likely to continue with your workout. The 2-minute rule makes it easy to begin, and often once you start, you'll want to keep going. Another example is reading. If you want to read more books, don't aim to read for an hour straight. Instead, just read 1 page a day. It takes less than 2 minutes, and after a few days, you'll start building momentum. The key is to make the habit so easy to begin that you can't help but do it. Takeaway number 10, motivation and consistency. Motivation is important, but it's consistency that really makes habits stick. A lot of people think they need motivation to start or maintain a habit, but the truth is, motivation follows action. The more consistent you are with your habits, the more automatic they become, and the less you'll need motivation to keep going. For example, if you want to work out regularly, but only go when you feel motivated, you'll quickly find that your motivation fluctuates. However, if you make your workout a regular part of your schedule, it becomes less about motivation and more about consistency. Even on days when you don't feel like it, you'll do it because it's now part of your routine. Another example is with writing. If you want to write a book, it's not about waiting for the perfect moment or hoping for inspiration to strike. It's about showing up and writing a little every day. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes, and soon you'll find that motivation naturally follows the habit. All right, so those were the 10 powerful takeaways from Atomic Habits that can help you build better habits and transform your life. To recap, remember that small changes really do add up over time, and it's all about making your habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Focus on becoming the person you want to be, not just the goals you want to achieve. And don't forget the importance of tracking your progress, stacking habits, and making your environment work for you. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one tiny habit you're going to start today? Drop it in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.